Hi guys, welcome to this mini series on shoulder mobility. So your shoulders are really important, and they're also quite a complex joint where a lot of issues can arise. I'm sure you can probably think of a time where you've had some shoulder pain and maybe you've even had an injury there. So these exercises are there to create more mobility, some flexibility in the shoulders, but also working on building a little bit of strength as well. So let's dive right in. You're just going to need yourself and a space that you can practice in, maybe your yoga mat if you've got one, but also carpet or even on your bed you could do these exercises. So let's dive right in. Okay, so the first movement that we're going to do, we're going to come into an all fours position, much like you do a cat-cow. So come onto all fours. But instead of having the toes untucked, I'm going to get you to tuck the toes under. Same positioning with the hands and the knees, just stacking them roughly below the shoulders and the hips, just roughly. And then we're going to do some movements and isolate the movement pretty much into this upper portion, the shoulder area of the back. Now, I'm not going to lie, the first time I did this, it was a little bit challenging to just get that coordination moving. So from here, we're going to just try and move the shoulders into some circles. So it might take a little bit of playing around with. The back will move a little bit. It will feel almost like a little mini cat-cow. And you might want to incorporate a little bit of bend in the elbows. What you can also do is isolate the movement into one side with some circles and the other. And also just making sure that you go both ways with your circles. So the movement probably looks a little bit odd, but you can feel as you're doing that movement that it is both an opportunity to get some mobility, but also you can feel it in the shoulders, you can feel them working. And still on your hands and knees, you can also incorporate a little bit of a rotation. Now, this works not just on the shoulder, but also through the back as well a little bit. And if you come to class, you know that I quite often use some of these movements. So again, option is yours to have the toes untucked or tucked really with this one. And ultimately, you're going to bring your hand to the small of your back. And then you're going to create some rotation, but really try and isolate that movement just to the upper portion of the back. So you're just rotating that part and then coming back down. So you can literally pause and hold and then lower. Pause and hold and lower. And again, you can do the same with the other side. And you might find there's a little bit of difference from side to side. Maybe one side you've got a little bit more rotation, a little bit more mobility. And then the last one on all fours is actually a stretch that we do fairly frequently. So untuck the toes if they were tucked under. And then you can feed your right arm underneath the left, come down onto the right shoulder. And then if you want, you can reach the left hand away from the body. And what you can do is pause and hold this. Again, really important to draw that belly in, draw the ribs down, not creating flare, and stretch through the back. And then you can walk the left palm in, press through that palm, come back up, swap onto the other side. So left arm feeds through, come onto the left shoulder, right arm reaches away. Pause and hold. You can hold it for a few seconds, a minute, and then walk that hand back in and come back up onto all fours. So with the next movement, we're going to come down onto the ground or your mat. So we're actually almost going to lay ourselves down. So if you come onto your front, first of all, you're going to take the right arm underneath, and that's going to enable you to roll over a little bit. Now you can actually bend this left knee to give yourself a bit of support. and then bring your left hand down to the ground. You're actually going to rest the head a little further down so that it's more in alignment with the neck. And what we're going to do is we're going to rock forwards and back, but really trying to use the shoulder muscles to create this movement rather than just using this hand. So it's just here for support, but you're going to rock forwards and then back. And what you're trying to do is you just use the power of the muscles around the shoulder to create this movement. And you can really open it up as well. So you can press through that top hand and swap over onto the other side. So again, starting off, laying down on your front. This time take the left arm underneath and then palm down, and then you can bring that knee in to also support. So again, looking forwards and backwards. And I encourage you to try palm down and also palm up, seeing how that might change this stretch, this exercise. So you want to do a couple of repetitions of that on each side. So the next movement is also down onto the front of your body. So this time you're going to take your arm out and do a little bit of like a spider arm. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to twist myself round so I can show you it from facing forwards. So coming down, you're going to create like a little spider arm. So start off with maybe your 2 spider arms, and then take your right hand, place it here, and you're actually going to rest the head onto this arm. But the movement I'm going to show you, I'm going to just do it lifted for a moment so I can show you the movement. The movement that you're going to create is you're going to create a little bit of a rocking movement. And again, I'm not using the pressure of my hands. I'm really trying to use the strength of my shoulder. So head down. And then we'll move on to the other side. So again, left arm creates that little cushion for the head. That spider arm comes out to the side. And then you're going to rock from side to side. So you want to do a couple of repetitions of that on each side and really see that you're creating that movement by using those muscles to pull you from side to side. So then our next one is really, really simple. You're going to be on your knees. You can tuck your toes under for a bit of support. Rise the arms up above you and then reach out through the fingertips, getting a nice stretch through the shoulders. And then lower down. So you could do a few repetitions of this. Just trying to let the rib cage flare, keeping tone in the belly. And then once you've repeated that a few times over, you're then going to try a hold. So you're going to reach up, stretch out, and create that stretch and hold it for about 15 to 30 seconds. Nice little static hold. You're going to feel the body starts to fatigue a little bit. You might feel a bit of warmth in the muscles. And then you'll lower down. So you could do, again, a few repetitions of that over and try to hold it for maybe a little bit longer each time. And then from here, we're going to just do some little side stretches. So the same positioning, you can be on your knees, you can have the toes tucked under. If it feels better to have them untucked, you can, but sometimes it creates a little bit more stability. And then from here, have the arms start down by your sides, and we're going to just literally reach over to each side, but really want to reach out and reach over, creating a nice bit of stretch through the shoulders. So we'll start with reaching our right hand overhead. So reach it up, take it over, and then take it over to that side and really reach the fingertips away from the body. And you can always feel the shoulder lift away from its socket a little bit. That's how it feels with me. It's the best way I can describe it, is you're reaching it up and you're getting a nice bit of stretch down the sides, through the back, and then release. And again, you can do that static hold with it. So right hand down, left arm comes up this time. Again, reach the fingertips away, keeping the belly drawn in, the ribs down, pulling the fingertips away, reaching that shoulder up, away from the body, and then reaching it all the way back down. And then another really simple one. So sit yourself down. You could be on your knees or cross-legged like me. Just find a comfortable position. And then you're going to reach the arms behind, interlace the fingers, and just sit up nice and tall to begin with. Then what you can do is you can reach the hands and lift them up off the ground a little bit. So you'll feel it opens up the chest, stretches through the shoulders. Just keep the gaze forwards, and so that the neck is alignment, so chin almost a little tucked in. And you can maybe see how far you can lift the arms up behind you. You can pause and hold. You could do some little lift repetitions. Again, really important to keep tone in the belly and draw the ribs in so that they're not flaring, and that you're instead sort of using that rib flare to create that flexibility and that mobility. You want it to come from the shoulders. So I hope that little mini series on shoulder exercises, shoulder mobility is really helpful for you. If you're quite often frequently struggling with some tension after working out and using the shoulders a lot, then some of these exercises would be good to throw into the mix and do maybe a couple of times a week, just to create some more mobility in the shoulders. Thank you for watching another one of my videos. I really appreciate you being here, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Take care, guys. Bye.